Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Ali, and good news! Today we are doing a very special pick a card reading. It's my first pick a card reading I've ever done on this channel. I'm so excited. We're doing a very special kind of reading today. So you may notice these two lovely ladies. They are from the movie Wicked. I'm a huge fan. Just a disclaimer, they're not my intellectual property. This is just a fan reading. For those who aren't familiar with Wicked, you may have become familiar with it over the last year because it is a Broadway musical that has been split into two films. It is about the Witches of Oz before they became the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch, respectively. Before Dorothy dropped in, as the tagline likes to say. So today I'm gonna have you guys pick pile one. This is Elphaba. This is who became the Wicked Witch of the West. But was she truly wicked? That's the question that the movie asks of you. And then we've got Glinda. Was she truly good? Okay, so the movie is very morally interesting, and the songs are really fun. I'm a huge musical theatre fan, so this is like a dream to do a reading like this. I've wanted to do it for so long. Such a special reading for me. So I've just pre-shuffled all these cards, and we're going to see like what comes through. I just sort of randomly picked what I felt called to. And yeah, I'm so excited to see what these ladies have to tell us. It's just a general reading, so not everything is going to resonate, but I kept it along the theme of what witchy or spiritual message do they have to share. So we'll jump into pile one, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon, whichever one you pick. Okay, see you soon. Bye! So, pile one, if you chose the Elphaba or Elphie pile, this is your reading. So, I'm going to go through the characteristics of both of the ladies to start off with. So, with Elphaba, she's very driven by fairness, truth, honesty, and integrity. If you haven't watched Wicked, this might be a little bit confusing, but for those who have, you know that Elphaba campaigns for the animals very strongly and wants to speak out and right injustices in Oz. So some of you may have a thing about fairness. You could even be a Libra placement, okay? Wanting things to be fair and just. So, and she's also about transcending limits as well, about defying people's expectations of us, you know, being born with green skin, being an outsider. Some of you may resonate with that message of feeling different. So we're going to jump in and we're going to see what Spirit and what Elphaba has to say. So I've used a couple of different decks for this. We're going to start off with the Divine Guidance Affirmations deck. So it says, and I'm going to take that upright message. It says, do not give in to doubt and suspicion. This only gives way to disappointment. Be honest with your feelings, especially in dealing with others. Keep your expectations real. Okay, so there's a very strong message here already of seeing things for what they are. Okay, and Elphaba has this moment towards the end of the first Wicked film. She has a moment where she realizes that all the expectations that she's placed on the Wizard of Oz, he is not what he appears to be. He is a charlatan. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. If you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. But go away and watch it if you haven't, and then come back. But she doesn't have doubt the whole time. That's what's so funny about this. She doesn't really have doubt the whole time. And then when she starts to doubt, she sees the reality for what it is. So for some of you, it may sort of be the opposite, right? You may have to really like not be doubtful, but really see things for what they are and not look through rose-colored glasses, or in this case emerald-colored glasses. Okay, but we're going to see what the rest of the reading has, and then we can form a clearer picture. Okay, and I'm going to try to move her up so that we have a bit more room, and I'm going to move pile two out of the way just a little bit, just so we have some room. So we're going to go now for the Daily Tonic. This is just little quote cards, and it says, and I'm going to do it upright, This is the highest wisdom that I own. Freedom and life are earned by those alone who conquer them each day anew. And that is by Johann Wolfgang Goethe. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. But that stuck out to me. Freedom and life are earned by those alone who conquer them each day anew. And that is so fitting for Elphaba, because she is all about, she has to take the high road. Right at the end of the film, she defies gravity, she flies on her broomstick, and she earns true freedom. She realizes that freedom is in herself. So some of you, if you compare it with this one, I feel like it's about being realistic, but also being realistic enough to break free and transcend your own limits through being realistic. Some of you may be earth signs, because Cynthia Erivo, who plays Elphaba, she's a Capricorn, so some of you may be Capricorns, okay? But in being grounded and in finding your own freedom within yourself, that is what gives you true inner peace and joy. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm not going to do a full message till I pull them all, but I'm going to do, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, and we have the King of Swords. All right. Okay, so I'm going to have to sort of, some of this may be pushed off to the side. I'm so sorry about that. But I'm going to have to look at all of this in sequence to really come to a conclusion. So just give me 1 second. So I first want to start off with the King of Swords, depicted in this beautiful Renaissance magic tarot deck. Hopefully you can see. I can't really hold it up to the camera, because when I hold it up to the camera it goes out of focus, but hopefully you can see. So I feel like this is calling you, no matter how you identify, no matter what gender you are, to move into a more masculine energy. I feel like Swords is all about mental energy, so it's about claiming dominion over your mental space. Okay, not allowing negative thoughts to get to you. And even Eight of Swords is about being sort of trapped. So in the reverse, I feel like this is saying you could be trapped. This is two swords. So to me, this feels like mental energy. And it's so funny because this is about the limits we put on ourselves. It's about embodying true power, which is what Elphaba is all about. When she breaks out of her own mental imprisonment, and because she always kind of advocates for herself, but when she realizes that the stories she tells herself apply more to her than the Wizard of Oz, that's when she finds her true power, right? So she sort of takes, because it makes me think of the Two of Swords. I know this is the Eight of Swords, but it all makes me think of the Two of Swords, of having that blindfold, of, you know, keeping it real. It's about taking the blindfold off, taking off your things that you've imprisoned yourself with, okay? And really finding, you know, your own sovereignty, your own passion and power. And some of you may have to walk away from tricky situations, okay? This won't resonate for everyone, but for those it does resonate with, this may be about you. You may have held yourself back. You may be artistic or creative in some sort of way, like painting and drawing, and you're holding yourself back, and you need to rise to the occasion and prove to yourself, because this is the thing, I think Elphaba's overall thing is she has to prove it to herself, not to anybody else, because she's always advocating for herself, her sister who is disabled, you know, the animals, the people who are looked down upon by society. But at the same time, and like I said, it's at the climax, she gets that sense of really fully understanding herself and embodying her true power, and she has to go away and fly away literally from, you know, her own inner child wounds that are keeping her stuck and stagnant. Okay, I hope this is making sense, but it's sort of coming in that you need to have the exuberance and the freedom and joy within yourself to truly break free of the constraints of conformity. Like, I hope this is making sense. But like I said, some of you may be artistic and you maybe feel pushed out and shunned by the society because you may express yourself in a way that's not cohesive to like societal norms. That's not what's the expected thing, right? So this is really, it's so fitting for Elphaba because I just pulled this all randomly. But it's about, yeah, this whole idea of freedom within yourself, being an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, okay, Sun, Moon, Rising. Really breaking free out of your own constraints and living a life that is true to you, okay? You know, finding your independence, your freedom, your inner bliss and joy. That is so, so important here. I feel, yeah, some of you, this is not going to resonate for all of you, but some people may have been let down by a family member, or you may have toxic family that you have to cut away from them, okay, go no contact. That's your personal decision, but that's for whoever it applies to. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but that's sort of what's coming through, this idea of I'm going to do it my own way, and if you don't like it, I don't care. Because Elphaba, even though she does have deep inner wounds, she still doesn't really care what people think. She sort of embraces the unconventional. You know, that's why she loves the animals, because they know what it's like to feel different. They're all different and diverse, and so is she, and she finds camaraderie in that. So this could also be about finding your soul family, okay, your soul tribe, the people who make you feel special in your differences. Okay, I can relate to this as a disabled woman, you know, and Wicked was so good with their disabled representation so far, because it's 2 movies, so we'll see how it pans out. But I'm so glad they cast an actually disabled actress in the role of Nessa Rose. That really, really makes me happy. Marissa Bodie is very talented, and if you're watching this video, Marissa, shout out to you. You did an amazing job. If she just randomly happens to come across this video, I don't know. But yeah, it's about finding your soul family. Yeah, finding the people who embrace you for who you are, and saying, you know, bleep you to those people who would try to keep you stuck and stagnant, and claiming your masculine energy. Because masculine and feminine, like we've said before, it's not gender exclusive. You can be in a masculine and feminine energy and have no gender. You can embody one, not the other, embody both at the same time, okay? So it's more of an energy that we're in. The more that you claim your own sovereignty, the freer you will be, the happier you will be, and Spirit will put abundance and blessings into your lap, okay? So I hope that helped you, pile 1. Let me know if there's anything I missed, and I will catch you in the next reading. Bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Elphie. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye. Bye. Can't see my hand, but I'm waving. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Glinda or Galinda pile, this is your reading. I'm very excited. Like I said in the previous pile 1, I pre-shuffled these cards. I think I said that at the beginning of the video actually. But I pre-shuffled these cards, so I don't know what's going to come out. This was literally just a grab and pull situation. I just had to go instinctively with what I felt. It was very quick fire compared to Elphaba. Like let's just say that. Which Glinda is more bright and more peppy, so that might just be her energy sort of seeping through into the reading, even though she's fictional. And I know she's very popular. Like Cynthia and Ariana, both amazing powerhouse women. But yeah, seen a lot of Glinda love out there. I think it's all the pink and the butterflies. And butterflies are actually my symbol. So I'm just going to go into Glinda for a second, then we'll get into the reading. So Glinda's very much Elphaba's opposite, but they are besties, okay, in this first movie, okay? At the end, a lot more separated by political and moral divides. Again, if you've not watched Wicked, highly encourage you to. But she's very concerned with what people think about her, about what the right thing is, about doing the right thing to uphold her image and reputation, but she does have a good heart underneath. Okay, so I'm not saying here at all that anybody here is vain or selfish or anything like that. It's more so I feel like some of you may have some of the same insecurities as Glinda. You may be a light and people may be drawn to you, but maybe you feel like you don't have many real friends or acquaintances who appreciate you for who you are. Okay, and it may take you a while. Like I said in part 1, there was a whole thing about soul family, and for you it may take you a little bit longer to break out of societal norms than it did in pile 1. I feel like pile 1, you can go and watch it if you feel called to, but I feel like they're a bit more ready to walk away. They just had to overcome their mental energy. Whereas the Glinda pile, I feel like, you know, there could be people in front of you, but maybe you're not, like, you could be shunning them in some sort of way. I don't know. It's very interesting. But we're going to get into these cards, and we're going to see what comes out. Sorry for the long ramble. I just had to explain their energies first before I hop in. Okay, so we're starting with the Divine Guidance Affirmations Tarot. And I'm just going to do it upright. Be pleased with your efforts. Your reward is the luxury of ongoing satisfaction and serenity. Okay, so I'm going to pull these first 2 cards and then I'm going to tell you. So already, when I see the word luxury, I'm like, that is so Glinda. Okay, both of these cards are so, it's so funny how they represent. Go watch pile 1 if you haven't seen it already, but the whole thing about luxury. Galinda's all about luxury, things being the best, okay? Needing her own private suite at boarding school, okay? And she has satisfaction because she's surrounded by compliments and people who love her all the time, okay? Even if it's phony. Again, not saying anything about the people who chose this pile, but she finds peace in validation and affirmation. So maybe some of you, your love language could be words of affirmation, okay? And this is an affirmation sort of tarot deck. So, and then we have the Daily Tonic, which is like a little quote. Always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dreams. Lao Tzu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Terribly sorry if I'm not. I'm not entirely sure who Lao Tzu is. I believe it could be maybe a Zen proverb. But always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dreams. So Glinda with her wand, she's learning to grant wishes, okay, and doing spells. You know, she really wants to learn sorcery to better people's lives, but for her own satisfaction, in a way. Okay, so sometimes you may do things, like I said, for the validation of others. Maybe you neglect your own dreams for some of you. That could be something that you do. You give so much, and listen, cute eye roll, but I'm a little bit of an empath, okay? And I give a lot to people. Actually, I'm very much an empath, and I give a lot to people. But you might be doing it to fill up your own insecurity. You may give and get nothing back and neglect your own dreams. And you may want to fall in line with what society thinks of you, because you may conventionally fit in, whereas pile 1 didn't, but you have other dreams that you want to pursue. It's giving me Zeke from High School Musical, where he's like, I love to bake, sort of like a Disney thing coming in there. Maybe some of you like High School Musical or Disney, but where he's like, I love to bake, and the other guy is like, I played the cello. Like, deep down, Glinda wants to be free like Elphie, but she doesn't kind of know how until they have that little dance at the Ozdust ballroom, and then she kind of realizes, like, Elphie shows her a different way to sort of be unapologetic, even though she has her own wounds. She shows Glinda, like, hey, you can be you, even though Glinda kind of goes back on that at the end, morally and ethically. But yeah, they have a friendship that's founded through learning to tolerate each other's differences and learning from each other. So some of you may have a mentor or guide that's coming in, like Elphie, to teach you how to manage your own differences, okay? So we're going to get further into the reading. 5 of Cups. Yeah, okay. 5 of Cups and Death in reverse. Okay. So, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was a bit of a jump scare. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so I'm very sorry, pile 2, for that interruption. We're just going to jump back in. So I sort of got disrupted with what I was saying. But yeah, basically, the 5 of Cups and Death in the reverse. This confirms for me that you're sort of like maybe grieving something and sort of pushing away things. You know you can break out of expectations, much like Elphie wants to help Glinda do. You know you can go against the grain, but you're almost sort of scared to do it, and you're sort of feeling sorry for yourself, which Glinda tends to do. Like, she kind of, like, and this is not to judge anybody, because we all go through hard things and challenges, okay? And I'm really sorry that you're going through this, all right? Glinda tends to be a bit more dramatic. Kind of gives me fire sign placement, even though Ariana Grande is a Cancer, but it gives me very much fire sign placement. She sort of faints if she doesn't get her own way, and she does have sort of a why me mentality for a little bit there. But, you know, she feels sad. The idea of not fitting in makes her feel sad. So because you're turning away and you're sort of resisting, maybe you do have deep-rooted insecurities, like I said, that you need to face, okay? Death in the reverse is coming up, because that rebirth cannot happen. And people see death as a negative card, but it's actually not, you guys. It is actually, it's actually a card of rebirth and renewal and going into a new cycle, okay? So it's like, it is sort of a completion card. It's not a 10 card, but for me, death is a completion card. It's the end of something going into the beginning of another thing, okay? So because you're turning away from breaking free of expectations, which is where Elphaba does the opposite, right? Even though her sword's energy, if you haven't seen part 1, like I said, go watch it, but Elphaba, when she doesn't let her mental energy hold her back, she literally defies gravity and flies. For the Glinda pile, it's a bit more turning away and feeling like, what will I be without validation? Some of you, I think I know what this is. So some of you may have had fake friends. Some of you could be a Cancer like Ariana Grande, actually. Some of you may have had fake friends that kind of stabbed you in the back, or you may be grieving the breakup of a friend group. But that friend group wasn't really for you anyway, okay, pile 2? Because you have to go through this death process, but you can't if you're clinging to the past and you're allowing things to bring you down and make you sad. And yes, we do have to face our emotions. So I feel like you need to be sad for a little bit, but then you have to find proactive solutions. How do I nurture my dreams, okay? How do I find solace in myself and move forward? And like I said, there could be a mentoring guide coming in, and this Be Pleased shows me that the more you nurture your dreams, right, you will manifest abundance, serenity, all the things that you could dream of, if you just take that first step to stop caring about what others think of you, okay? Maybe I need this message because I've struggled with low self-worth in the past, okay, too, so I do understand. But it's about, you know, not always doing what's expected of you, but what you feel is right. Following your gut instinct and intuition. Okay, pile 2? That's something I see really strongly for you. You could have Scorpio, Aries, Venus. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Aries, Venus. Libra. Very Libra. You know, very jubilant. Leo, very Sun energy. Right? And Glinda is all about change. It's funny because Glinda has butterflies around her. That's her sort of signifier. Like I said, butterflies are my sign, and butterflies are about changes in a cycle. They're about cycles, okay? And this is about a cycle being blocked, all right? Being blocked in some way, all right? Some of you may want to be non-conventional. Some of you could even want to be tarot readers, seers, mystics, okay? But you feel you're not good enough, and you're staying in the material world where your feet are on the ground, your head's not in the clouds, you feel safe. But is that really what you want, though? Even doing a 9-to-5 job and fitting in with everybody else, is that really what you want? I would take some time to meditate and really contemplate on what you want, okay, pile 2? Because I think once you break out of your cocoon, both of these girls, like Elphie and Glinda, they both break out of their cocoons in different ways. Okay, Glinda does it by sort of hesitantly embracing Elphie, and Elphie does it by defying the main authority, while Glinda kind of stays behind and she resists the rebirth, okay? So you're sort of in different phases and stages, but it's the same thing. You have to break free of your own restrictions. With Elphie, it was all about swords. With Glinda, it's all about emotions and feeling like you have to restrain yourself and be somebody's perfect ideal or somebody's perfect version of you. And that's not who you are, okay? In order to embrace the true butterfly, okay, you have to fully agree to enter into the cycle, okay? And that's when the abundance will flow in. That's when the luck and magic and miracles will flow in, okay? So I hope this helped, pile 2. I'm actually going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I'm going to actually cut the video there. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to bring Miss Elphie back for a second. Thank you, everybody, for watching this reading, whatever group you picked. I really do appreciate it. This is a reading I've wanted to do for a while. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see. Personal and paid readings are closed at the moment until June. I'm actually undergoing a major kind of spiritual sort of journey right now. So I have to do a lot of self-focus. But I do like to do little intuitive things for free, and I may post some of those, and I'll post a lot more of these readings. But this is a reading as a musical theatre fan, like I said, I've wanted to do for ages. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you haven't watched Wicked, yeah, go watch it. Shout out Cynthia, Ariana, Jonathan Bailey, Marissa Bodie, Ethan Slater, SpongeBob. The whole cast really did an amazing job. And I'll see you guys next time on this channel. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Hopefully you can see my hand. I'm waving. Remember to defy gravity and be true to yourself. Okay. Bye. Bye.